Okay, thanks for coming on board, everybody, and welcome to the Summer of Arts California State University info session that we're running here about the Summer of Arts program. And it's an exciting program that is run literally once a year at a different host college, and it's been for the past few years over at Cal State Fresno. Although, from what I'm to understand, they're going to be picking a new host college for the 2025 semester. It's a 2 week long program where it's completely immersive. So you guys will be actually staying at the college in the college dorms, eating in 3 meals at the cafeteria, and working on a short for this program for our show. It's a short animated short film that you'll be put together in teams of four. So there'll be four students either working on a 2D film or a CG film, and you'll be led by these amazingly awesome teachers and mentors that we have with us that I'm going to introduce these guys in a little bit, but I just want to let you guys know about the program and how to apply and why we're doing this to get you guys to apply early because of the big thing, which is, of course, the scholarships that they're offering. They offer a lot of money in scholarship money that deals with paying for the tuition for the 2 weeks, which is the room and board and the housing and all the extra things that are involved with it. So what we want to do is kind of get you guys familiar with the website. I'll share it in a little bit, and then talk about the application process very quickly, what we're asking for. And it's fairly simple. I think most of you guys have this stuff already. I'm going to share my screen really quickly, just about showing that. And then I'm going to introduce you guys who's with us. If you guys all go to this website right here, it's calstate.edu/summerarts. And if you go up here, it'll talk about the different programs and things. There's a lot of different programs going on, and the courses, as they're called, there's two dates, and this is the one we're focused on, July 8th to the 21st. And you see, as you see, there's visual art classes, there's dance classes. These are all sponsored by Cal State University system. This one we're running here is the Animation Production Studio. Okay, so if you click on that one, well, that'll take you to what we're doing. We're making our short films. We'll get into a little bit of the details later. And if you guys feel like you have the skills to take the class, really, that's what we also want to identify tonight too. You know, some last night in the meeting we had some interested freshmen, but they had done enough stuff that we thought was great. So we're asking for three things: a personal statement, a portfolio, and a resume. Okay. And then I'll get into actually how to upload it later. But I just want to go over this very briefly. The personal statement, you guys, is about who you are as an artist, what your goals are, what you want to achieve, why you want to take this class, why you want to make a short film, whether you're in 2D or CG, just a little bit about yourself. And that will help greatly for us to kind of get to know you a little bit as an artist. And then hopefully everybody has some kind of online presence. You may or may not have a website. You may have a LinkedIn page, but someplace that we can do one click and take a look at your work. So we're not asking you to upload any work for us. We're asking you to put it onto some place digitally, preferably a website that you've developed. If not, it could be a Pinterest, or a lot of people were using Tumblr at one point, but then they got into ArtStation. Really, just so we can see your work, guys, what you've done and what you've been working on. Okay, so that's the nuts and bolts and the gist of it. We'll get into a little bit of it later, but I want to introduce the teachers who have taken the time to come onto this session with us, and I'll start with Professor Mark Farquhar, which some of you guys know, some of you guys don't, who runs the animation program at CSUN. Mark?
Yeah, okay, I am unmuted. You guys can hear me. Let me swap this out just a second. Okay. Um, so yeah, I'm a 3D character animator. I worked in feature animation at the all of the major studios, the Warner Brothers, DreamWorks, Sony ImageWorks, Pixar, Disney. Um, and I'm sure if I left anybody out, I probably did. But I've worked on a bunch of. I think the best film that that people know is probably Iron Giant or maybe Toy Story 2. But I'm a character animator, and so and I've worked with a lot of people. And one of the things that is really amazing to me about the program is looking at the people that are in the program. Can you go to the bios?
Yeah, am I sharing my screen?
Sure.
Okay, great.
So yeah, if you can look at, okay, so Owen and Sherry are here tonight, which we're like super lucky and amazing, and they'll talk. But you're looking at people that let me just highlight a little bit because they're going to talk about the kinds of stuff they've worked on. But like Sherry's done 2D animation and directing, and has worked on TV, film stuff going from like Rocco's Modern Life. You guys might know The Simpsons, the Fairly Odd Parents. So she's worked on a ton of different things. Just brings a lot of experience. Owen Klatt, one of the things I'm just really blown away by is this. He's one of a handful of animators working on The Nightmare Before Christmas, and has done 2D and 3D films. Working on a ton of different films. And just released a personal project on wood. If you haven't seen, is really just an amazing project. And obviously, these guys are going to talk about their stuff, but I just want to make sure you realize, this is such an incredible opportunity because it's just so. You have these mentors that are going to be working with you to create a film in 2 weeks. And so you go on site to Fresno State, you live in dorms, and you work on the project from morning to night, right? So you work, 10, 12 hours days in groups to create either 2D or 3D films. And, it's really, it should be, it's going to be a really great experience, but it's also, you get 3 units of credit. It's upper division credit. They can transfer very easily for in-state and CSU. It can transfer to outstate as well. But the other thing is you get work for your portfolio. It's going to be at a high level. So I know there's probably nobody here that has too much work in their portfolio, right? We always need to get more stuff. So it's the experience, but it's also what you're going to get out of it is really valuable. And then let me go back. Can you show Bruce Smith? Because like it's or wait, actually, yeah, stay on Steve Hegner. So Steve Hegner was a director. You guys maybe have seen Prince of Egypt or B Movie, but he also worked on things like he started on Who Framed Roger Rabbit, The Little Mermaid, The Great Mouse Detective. He's been working in film forever. So like having him come and meet with you guys is incredible opportunity. Adam Dykstra is a guy that I've worked with at Disney, super talented guy. He's done 2D and 3D. He was a lead on The Princess and the Frog, one of the characters. I think it was some of the. I didn't mark it. I forgot the kid, but it's so he was lead on some of the characters on Princess and the Frog. Yeah, there you go. Is it on that Disney page? He's working
Yeah.
with The Simpsons now, and you just look at the films that you're talking about. It's incredible. Hunchback, Hercules, Tarzan, Wreck-It Ralph, Frozen. So just really lucky to have like this kind of experience. And then yeah, Bruce Smith. Bruce Smith, you guys know the Proud Family, right? So he's an Oscar winner. He won an Oscar for co-directing the short Hair Love. He worked on Who Framed Roger Rabbit. He was a lead on Dr. Facilier. I don't know if I said that right, but just probably one of the standout characters on Princess and the Frog. Just really, really amazing talent. Really lucky to have these guys. So you get that experience. You're, and then there's all, you know, like the kinds of things that you get to like, you know, you can bring those credits back. And the other thing is apply early because I think it gives you a better chance. And if you're not sure, apply because there's a lot of grant money that's set aside for just for these programs. So, and I think, are you going to talk about that?
Yeah, I'll get into that. I want to introduce, thank you so much, Mark. I appreciate that.
Cool.
Awesome. Miss Sherry Pollock, please tell us a little bit about yourself as one of
Sure.
our mentors and teachers.
Sure. Hi, everyone. It's true. I am Sherry Pollock. I've worked in the business my entire career wearing a variety of hats. And that's one of the wonderful things about this program is you're going to see how production is really done. I've worked, I started as an in-betweener, a beginning animator, working on a lot of commercials. I think every cereal commercial was hand-drawn when I started. And literally, I was working on a million cereal commercials and then started doing music videos. And I had come in to Klasky Csupo where they were beginning The Simpsons as a student. And I started animating on their commercials. And then I started timing on Ah Real Monsters, Duckman. And they just had me do a lot of different things because number one, I was there and open to it. And it really helped me in my career and stay employed because I keep hopping into different shoes. And so I did a lot of writing too. I was involved in a lot of theater and improv and stand-up comedy in Los Angeles, which I thought was a law. When you get here, you just have to do that. So I did that. That really opened up a lot of doors as well, and kind of fast-paced me into directing too, because I was very eager to wear all these shoes. And so I earned my carpal tunnel on Fern Gully. We used a triple aught pencil. And so I was thrilled. It didn't matter to me. I said, oh, okay, now I have this. I'm going to learn how to avoid that. But because of that, when I wasn't drawing, they said, okay, let's get you into editing. And so I learned a lot about directing, mainly because I just kind of fell into all these categories. And that's one of the wonderful things about animation is that there's so much to do. There's so much to do, and it just makes you a better filmmaker. You ask a million questions and you get going, and you are working as a team. It's quite a village. It's pretty magical what everyone does. I mean, it's pretty amazing. So you're going to be with a great group of people that they're not only going to be friends, but you're going to be colleagues. You're going to be close colleagues. And seriously, you're going to be working with these people that you are on teams with. And also ask questions. Ask us all questions. We're here for you. We want to teach you everything that people didn't teach us. So that's why we're here. This is a wonderful opportunity.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sherry. And finally, Mr. Owen Clatty.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, I'm Owen Clatty. Yeah, I started out in stop motion animation, actually, on Gumby of all things, and then worked in commercials and things for a while, and then ended up on Nightmare Before Christmas. I had met Henry Selick working on some commercials and a short he did for MTV called Slow Bob in the Lower Dimensions. Was one of the original 7 animators on Nightmare, so that was a great opportunity. I worked for a while on James and the Giant Peach and Monkey Bone 2, which you probably haven't seen. I was animation.
Brendan Fraser, right?
What's it? Yeah, yep.
I saw it.
Yeah. I was animation director on a TV show called Bump in the Night for ABC. And then we ended up, my wife, also an animator, we ended up moving down to LA from San Francisco to work on Dinosaur at Disney. And then worked at DreamWorks, which is, I think, where I met Mark Farquhar. And anyway, spent about 10 years or so of stop motion, and then another 15 years of computer graphics, working games, commercials, special venue projects. I was animation supervisor for Rising Sun Pictures in Australia, working on Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1. We did the Dementors and some of the other effects. And then did some more stop motion again, worked on Anomalisa with Charlie Kaufman, which is great. And now I'm teaching at UW Milwaukee, but looking forward to doing this. And, yeah, I think it does look like we got a great lineup of people here to help you take your work to the next level.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Owen. Really appreciate that. Well, this is one question that I would like to ask all three of you before we move on. How does it translate from being in the studio, working on a production, to in the classroom, trying to disseminate the information? It's a different environment. How has that transition been for you guys? Because it's a totally different thing. What we're trying to do, and I think we will do it very successfully, is recreate that studio experience of us all being together on a deadline and having to finish stuff together as a team. So translating that now into a smaller studio environment, with deadlines and things like that. Anybody want to just kind of throw something out there about that?
I would just say I think it's cool that you're doing this as group projects because that is how studios work. It is a multidisciplinary, collaborative effort to make animation. And in school, a lot of times you don't get that. You're, at least in my experience, you're often just working by yourself on your own things, and that's valuable in its own way. But doing it with other people that at least have enough experience and enough background that that you can, they're not starting from scratch, right? So you've got people,
Right.
certain skill set you can work with and hopefully depend on and create great music together.
Yeah. And to also thank you for that. And also to talk about what Sherry was mentioning. I think that everybody on the team has to be ready to hop on to something different at a moment's notice when you're doing these little shorts, so that you're not feel like you're pigeonholed into one area and just doing one thing. Let's say, for example, all the shorts are going to need storyboards. So some people are going to be working on the storyboards, maybe some people working on character development or designs or prop designs and backgrounds. But the point is that it's interchangeable. And a lot of that stuff that she picked up where she was able to go from one thing to another is invaluable. Sherry, if you agree.
Yeah, it's interesting. One thing, deadlines are your friends. They really are. And I mentioned it before, and I'll mention this ad nauseum, is you have a lot of confidence when you don't have to jump in and rework things. You learn to trust yourself. And because you're on a deadline, and we as artists, we want to rework things from here to eternity. You can always make it better. No, finish, get it done, move on. And you're going to learn to trust yourself. And that's one of the magical things, is that everybody's in the same boat.
Yeah. I mean, when we got to move on to the next part of the project, there's no looking back.
You have to get it done. But it's going to be very inspirational to look at your neighbor and say, that looks like this. Well, this is what I was thinking. You were, me too. And just go. That energy is contagious.
Yeah.
And it will get you somewhere. Believe me, take a lot of vitamin B.
Awesome. Okay, so guys, application. When you're on this site, you're just going to go to how to apply, and it's going to break it to you down for you. Very simple. If you're under 21, you're going to need to have your parents apply to the financial aid. If you're over 21, you can fill out your financial documentation yourself. Like I said, these are the 3 requirements for this course. I don't want you guys to get hung up too much on. Can you guys see my screen? Am I sharing?
I killed your screen so that we could see the faces. So I was trying to be strategic with it, but I killed it without telling you. Sorry.
This is the page I'm on, guys. How to apply. Don't get hung up on the personal statement. Just keep it loose. Keep it you know, very you. Make it yourself, okay? This is also a big thing that Professor Farquhar brought up: 3 to 6 units of transferable college credits. So you can use these for as an actual class. And then the scholarship part. This is the part that I want you guys to realize that most of the time, if you're a student, if you're getting financial aid already, chances are you're probably going to get the financial aid scholarship for this. But you've got to apply, and you got to apply early. And that's why we're having these meetings, because too late in the game where students will apply and they really want to take part in the program, and they don't have the funds to support it because they didn't get the scholarships or financial aid through this. And this is the part where I was talking about your financial documentation. So if you're born before January 1st, you have are you an active duty member, or if it'll break it right down here. Okay, if none of these apply, submit your parents' information. They're going to submit for you. Okay. And that's it. It's a fairly simple process. I've already have 5 submissions in the docket that we're waiting to go through already. At this early stage of the game, I think it's just going to keep building as we keep on promoting and talking to students about it. This is what I got to say is you're never going to have another experience like this in your life. It's going to be something that you'll remember always, and it'll really kind of launch what I feel like would be the beginning of your professional career, because you're moving out of the college and you're going into the real working world. So that's what this is about. This is about you guys not just creating a great short, which, by the way, we've got the theater. We're going to show the films at the theater at Cal State Fresno. There's going to be a big rap party on Saturday night. So it's going to be a lot of fun, but there will be a lot of work. And, people were asking me last night when I opened up the floor for you guys to ask questions and talk about this, how many hours a day are you working on this? Well, let's break it down. Okay. In the morning, there's breakfast. Okay. For an hour, you meet with everybody and fun in the cafeteria. Then we'll be in the classroom for probably 3.5 hours. Then there's lunch, another hour or so shot. Then there's afternoon, which is about another 3.5 hours. So classroom time, maybe 6 hours, which, you think about it, isn't a whole heck of a lot. That's why then there's dinner, and then we keep the lab open till 12 at night, because the stuff that's going to be to do the next day, we're going to keep on rolling through. So it's a constant time of you being involved in this to get the best work you can get. And you have the benefit of all these amazing teachers working with you to make it the best project you can make it. Okay, so there's housing. Obviously, they put you guys up on campus and meals. That's the cost that we're getting. And then there's parking. And then how to apply. So I would say for you guys, take a look at this for a moment. And then when we open it up for questions, ask either questions about specifics on how to apply if you're not quite sure, and then other things about the program itself, which I can answer, or any one of our teachers can answer as well. What the shorts are going to be about and stuff like that. I can get into that stuff later, but I would like to hear from you guys, and we'd like to open it up so that you guys can talk a little bit about your experience, where you are right now in your career, what grade, if you're your junior or your senior. Last night we had some freshmen, and we did not turn them away. We're still like, hey, you know what? Apply. This could be a great experience even as a freshman. So talk to us a little bit about whether you're a 2D person, a 3D person, and what your interests are. Okay, so I'm going to open it up to you guys. Go around, just raise your hand, and then let's talk a little bit about the program and questions that you guys may have. Yes, Betty, thank you.
So what would you want to see in our portfolios exactly? like anything, or do we
Well-
have to specifically limit it?
Let's first what are you thinking about going into 2D or CG first?
I'm a little bit into both, but I was leaning mostly towards 2D before taking 3D classes.
Okay. Well, the reason why I'm saying is because you'll either be on a 2D team or a 3D team, depending on which. Sure, we're not going to put you on. We're going to have you decide first of all, right? So, for the 2D stuff, Sherry, why don't you comment on that? And for the CG stuff, Owen and Mark. But we're pretty open to just seeing your work at this point.
Sure. So for 2D, well, first of all, drawing, traditional, let's see your gestures. Let's see movement. Let's try to stay away from drawing your roommate sitting there still at their computer. Go outside, draw a bird, look at a baseball game, and let's just see some gestures and movement. Remember, animation is visual and there's something moving. And so you want to keep that in mind. That's really going to help quite a bit. Any kind of storyboards, any kind of traditional animation exercises, everything from bouncing ball to walk cycles, that would be really helpful.
And then
Okay,
for the
I understand. Thank
CG
you.
stuff, if you're thinking about applying for the CG one, Mark or Owen, any things you can recommend that they would have?
Sure, I guess I'll go quick on, and then maybe you can. But I think in general, let me. I'm really late on switching the focus on these. So yeah, I think you're really lucky with this program because we are looking for potential. And Betty, I know your work. You have really nice 2D and 3D stuff, so I think you could do whatever you want with this stuff. But you just want to show whatever you have, show the best of it, and just does that make sense? Oh, and
That makes sense.
so yeah, and then Owen, did you have anything? Do you want to add?
Well, I assume for most people in this, they're going to be looking at character animation, something, something that shows character animation, the basic principles, the 12 principles. It's all the same principles, whatever kind of animation you're doing, really, right? So if you've got some CG that isn't just, bouncing balls are great and all that, or, camera moves through rooms or something, but if you've got character animation, that's a great extra plus, because
Yeah, I mean, it's a good point. Basically, everybody's going to be required to do a little bit of everything on the team. But the one thing that everybody's going to have to do in order for you guys to get the short finished is do some animation of the characters in the scenes, animation of the, whether it's 2D or CG. So we're assuming everybody has some experience in that. And that's the key. And then, your short will reflect upon your level of skill at that point. Either way, you're going to come out with a great short. So thank you, Betty. I hope that helps.
Okay, so we have a question on chat.
Okay.
So do you want to read it or you want me to?
Let me see here. Is this from Linda? Yeah. Okay, Linda, thank you. Yeah. I'm currently a freshman and I'm more interested in 2D, but I'd also like to try stop motion. Would you prefer me sharing my films or would you prefer more exercises? Also, how long should the personal statement be? Okay, well, I can refer to Owen as the stop motion guru, even though I'd love to include stop motion as part of the films. We're just not going to have the time, unfortunately, to do them. However, if you could do stop motion and do it well, I would say that translates fine to CG or even 2D stuff, right? So what we're interested in is just seeing your work, Linda. It's don't edit it down in terms of saying nobody's stuff is finished. It doesn't have to be perfect. We just want to see like Mark mentioned, your potential. The fact that you're here tonight, the fact that you're interested in doing this is already half the battle won, because we know there's a boatload of students out there who are not going to take this extra step, this leap of faith into the animation world. So right away, you have that inner confidence, whether you realize it or not, by being here. So just show us your stuff. Um, we're not grading, we're not judging. We would just like to see where you are in your journey. Okay. And in terms of the personal statement, well, I wouldn't say, probably like a few paragraphs is a nice size. You don't have to get too long. You know, there's a page. It really just talk about yourself, your artistic interests, what inspires you, why do you want to take this program, what's your motivation to want to animate. You know, last night Adam said something really important. It stuck out in my mind because he started out wanting to be an actor, and then he realized that as he started animating, his acting instincts went into the character, and then all of a sudden he's acting through the character. It's exactly what an animator is an actor. So some people go down that road. Some people don't. Some people want to, do design and are really, really good at it too. So, we know you guys are still kind of figuring that stuff out, and that's cool. That's why if you try different things and especially come up with this short that everybody has kind of put all of their efforts into, it's going to be great because you're putting 100% of yourself into it. And that's the key to it. So I hope that helps, Linda. And
I add something?
yeah, please do.
So if you guys are using ChatGPT, make sure that you get rid of the prompt.
You guys are putting chat into the chat?
No, people, no. I'm
Oh,
just,
you're talking about if they use it to write their personal statement.
I've seen people submit stuff and they'll have the prompt that they used it included. I was just joking.
Wow.
But and the thing is that there is a lot of really good stuff about ChatGPT, but edit it, make sure it's personal. But yeah, make sure you edit. Don't put a prompt into the.
Yeah. Yeah, we want to hear from you. I'm not going to sit there and say, that grammar is wrong, or you forgot to put a period at the end of that sentence. We're just looking for heart, guys. Okay, so speak from the heart. That's all it's about. That's what we're all here to. What's holding us together, right? Okay. Thank you, Linda. Next question. Yes. Oh, sorry, Owen. Please.
The question about whether she should share films or exercises. It's
right. It's a good point.
It's kind of like, ideally you put together sort of a rough demo reel where you pick the best things, because I would say it's like you don't necessarily need to show a whole film. You might want to pick out the best parts, the best animation that's in there. I mean, both are useful, but I don't know. I tend to lean towards, I think you can tell a lot from a short bit of work. So that's my two.
Yeah, quality, not quantity. It speaks volumes.
Right.
We could just see the first 10 seconds of your animation and right away know, wow, that's got a lot of potential. You're further along than you think you are. So just, that's what it's about, you guys.
Yeah, put out what you think is the best, and it probably is. But sometimes I'll sometimes look at work for people I've been like hired, and it's maybe some of the work isn't what the best, but there's something about it that shows a spark of originality or creativity that goes beyond the technical expertise, and I look for that too. So it's hard to say exactly what you should present. Just what you think is the best is, and I don't know.
Just follow up really quick with that, because exactly that thing about just showing some of the best stuff and not showing off. You can put whole shorts on, fine, but at the front, like when you're showing the demo reel part of it, yeah, just show the best scenes. And one thing that I talk to students about is sometimes you have a scene and there's something that's not working in it. Don't show that part.
Yeah.
It's like
Right.
everybody has done stuff that's not great or have problems with it or whatever. But if you include that, it kind of shows that you don't know the difference. So like, show it to people, get feedback, and it's okay to have stuff that's not quite working, but just cut it down to the best part of it. And it's okay not to show an entire scene even. Like if you don't have the weight worked out correctly, you don't have to show it. And it doesn't have to be perfect too. Like they're saying, is this, we expect you guys are students and you're submitting student work, and we want to get you guys together to learn and work on it on teams. So don't overthink this either. Whatever you submit, we're going to understand, right? We're not hiring you at a studio. We're looking for, like the potential. So, and then Michael, it looks like Alexi has a question or wanted to.
Great. Thank you for that, Mark. And thank you all for the feedback. That was excellent stuff. Really makes a lot of sense. Yes, Alexi, thank you. Can you use your speaker? Can you talk?
Yeah, I can. I just
Oh,
had a
cool.
quick question.
Great.
I know you guys are talking about demo reels. What's like the ideal length for a demo reel?
Well, it's not so much as how long the demo reel is, it's the fact that you're putting your best work first. Because imagine if we got 1,000 demo reels and we just decided we were just going to look through the first 10 seconds of each one. If your 10 seconds isn't going to stand up to everybody else's, then right away it's going to be like, oh, we missed it. She put it at the end. So I would say best project first. You guys agree? You think that's probably a smart way to go? And,
Mhm.
and then however long it is, a minute and a half is good.
And just in general, not for us, but just with demo reels, it's really not how long should it be. It's like how long you shouldn't be more than. Like you
Right.
want to clip it because people aren't going to watch more than two,
Cut
3.
it down to a minute 30 if
Yeah.
you can.
Yep.
At the
5 minutes at the very most, and that's well, no,
that's way too long. Yeah. I mean, I would think, but because
depends on what you're showing. But what I'm
Yeah.
saying is, so like a couple minutes or whatever. But there's I know a guy that got hired with like a 10 or 15 second piece,
Yeah, there you
Yep.
go.
like a really good piece that he matched the look photo. It was a photo reel, like visual effects thing, and he
Wow.
got photo reel. And like that kind of thing, even just 1 or 2 pieces can get your foot in the door. So it's not about how long. It's like you make sure it's not. It's more the other way. Like make it short, and you're not trying to stretch it out. And so like in you guys that are doing CG stuff, I see people put models and stuff on, and they'll do these slow turns, and then they'll show it again from different angles. If it's not complicated, get it on and off. A few seconds is enough. You want to show process. You want to show like how you made it, and you want to explain what you did. But in general, demo reel type stuff. So, but yeah, I know you guys. And I'm not saying 5 minutes, but I'm just saying like just with professional, like when you work on professional projects and you have shots, they can be longer. But yeah, but nobody's going to watch, that long. So, try to keep it shorter. And like the minute 30, or then you can go into 2-3 minutes if it's good stuff. But most of the time you want to keep it short, like Professor Von Thomas was saying.
And we don't expect, again, just to reiterate, we don't expect your stuff to be at the level really right now. Wow, you're ready to get hired. We just want to see where you are right now. So you be the judge of your own work and put your best work first. And then we'll take a look at it with you or with each other. But it's going to help us to form the teams. It's going to help us to assess what you can do in the animation and then putting the whole thing together. So any help that you can help us with in this reel by showing us what you feel like you can do is going to make the process even run smoother in the beginning. So yeah, don't feel afraid to show anything at this point.
Yeah. Because you're showing your work to people who are visually astute and they're used to seeing this stuff and they've seen a lot of it. And so we can tell pretty quickly at a glance almost sometimes whether you've got it or not, or how good your work is. So we don't need a lot of it, and we can see through like you're saying, you can also tell if somebody's got a spark of something good there, even if there are technical problems or it's not great yet, it's student work, but there are students and then there are students. And, you know, you can distinguish people who really show some promise.
It's true. It's true. Oh, I'm even to, Owen, are you finished? I cut you off.
No, that's fine.
I think it's if you want to pace your work and you want to just, well, I have these 3 things I want to put in, you can ask yourself these 3 questions, you know, from the very beginning. You want to grab your audience by the throat, you want to shake vigorously, and then you want to kill them. And so what that means is get their attention, okay? Put something very strong, take them on a ride, show them some other things, and then show something else that you love that you've done at the end to kill them. So that's an anecdote that it kind of stays in your mind as far as, let's say you have 3 things. You know, I don't know what to, show us everything, keep it short, but show us something you're proud of.
Thank you for that showbiz adage, Sherry.
Welcome.
We're gonna kill them.
I'm going to use that one, okay? That's a good one.
You got it.
And the other one, in theater, less is more. Yeah, guys.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, so hopefully that helps out with your decision-making process of putting your little reel together. Again, the fact that you're interested in this is half the battle. We just need to know where you are with your stuff so we can help put you guys together in teams and stuff like that. And that's what brings me to the next question. And I'd like to ask all of you guys who are here, all the students specifically, you know, some of you may have taken my class, so you may already have gone through this process, although we did it in 15 weeks versus 2 weeks. What are the criteria for the short? Okay, so this came up last night. So we're looking at the whole film is going to be about 1.5 to 2 minutes long at the most. Okay, it's going to have 2 characters, possibly 3, but I think I'd like for everyone to stick to 2, and then 3 different environments or 3 different backgrounds, and maybe 1 main prop if they need it. Okay, that's the bare bones of what we're looking at, but it's up to you guys to come up with a story based on those parameters, a story with a beginning, middle, and end. Okay, now if you're applying, I want you to think of 3 stories with those parameters, because ultimately you're just going to end up using 1. And think of it this way: if we have 4 people in a team, each people has 3 stories, 3, 6, 9, that's 12 stories, and we narrow it down to 1. It's going to be the best one, or the one that works the best. And that's going to be voted on and talked about and discussed by Sherry and Owen and Mark and everybody who's there, because we'll see it has the most potential for a short. So just go ahead and write if you're going to do this. We only need a short idea, guys. You don't have to put backstory in. You don't have to put character development in. You just need to put a paragraph of what you see happening in the film. What is the beginning, middle, and end of the story, real time? And that's as simply as I can put it. But if there are any other questions about that, feel free to ask, as well as the program. From anybody else who didn't chime in, or anybody who did chime in.
So if you guys don't know Professor Bonatanis, he gets really great work through, you know, he's really great at the production management and organizing and getting really good work from students. So you're in good hands with this, and I think you're gonna, you know, you're gonna learn a lot. Just the process, you're gonna learn a lot. So, and then Professor Bonatanis, you talked about maybe that they could come in with ideas, right? And I know that. And then so you submit to this, and you'll know when you're accepted, and you guys can start talking, so you can hit the ground running when you come in. And did you say the number of, there's 3 to 4 students on a team? Did you talk about that?
Yeah, there's going to be 4 students on a team, and like I said, if everybody in the team comes in with their ideas already, day 1 is going to be us getting to know each other, our workflow, the schedules for each day, and then you're going to decide on what story each team's going to go with. That's the very first thing you guys are going to decide on. So what I want to prevent is you guys trying to brainstorm or come up with a story on July 8th. You are going to have all this time to think about your story ideas between now and July 8th. So once, if you, when you apply and should you get accepted, you then go ahead and write your 3 ideas down and then you're going to come in with them. And then the decision will be made once the teams are put together. It'll work out really well because our whole goal for this is to shave off as much time in the production as we possibly can from every step of the way, from the design to the boards, to the animatic, to the animation, which is going to take the longest. And then for the CG stuff, the rendering and the compositing. So we're always looking ahead. That's why I will tell you that for 4 people on the team, whoever's story ends up, whichever one you guys end up going with, they'll be considered the director of the team. There will be another person that will be assigned to be your project manager. Okay. And that will be keeping the schedule tight with us. So they'll be meeting with us, and then the deadlines, the daily deadlines, as well as the weekly deadlines. So everything's going to be pretty much mapped out for you guys. You guys are just going to have to kind of work together and do what needs to be required of you at that specific time. Does that make sense to you guys? Do you guys kind of understand a little bit about what we're going for in terms of the whole sort of production end of it a little bit more? Any questions or comments or feedback on that? Haley or Turan, anybody want to throw any thing out there?
Oh no, I think it's all great that like you said, if you pitch out your idea and it gets chosen, you're the director, so you're gonna oversee everything. And I think it gives you that experience as well if you do get that role. So I think it makes sense.
Great experience for you to be the director. Just be aware that even though you're the director of that team, it means you're probably going to be having to do a little bit more work than everybody else.
Kind of like you, oversee everything.
Right. Yeah. So don't think just because you're wearing that lofty title or that mantle of decision making that you're going to sit back and watch everybody work. No, you're doing the animation as well, just like everybody else. But yeah, it is a great experience, as well as a production manager who's what I call the glue of the team. And they really hold everybody together. And Sherry can attest to that. And she'll be working very close with the production managers. So with the deadlines and that kind of stuff, as Mark and Owen will be working with the character animators and once you get to the animation scenes and things. So I can't say enough about how excited we all are about this and how great of an opportunity it is for you guys. You guys have to spread the word, tell your friends, apply soon because the deadline for the scholarship is going to be end of this month. And anybody else have anything? Otherwise, we will wrap it up unless Sherry or Mark or Owen would like to say anything else to wrap up.
Well, just the idea of being a director, if that's something you're hot to do, that you'd like to have that role, I guess it's just another incentive for you to come up with really great ideas before you get there, right?
That's a good point.
Really work on that and show up with the best one.
Right. Because that's the one that's going to get chosen out of all of them. And the criteria is the same for everybody across the board. It's just that what's going to lend itself to a short film? What do we think is doable in 2 weeks?
That's always a big thing for students. It's
right?
Getting something that's doable. That has enough meat on the bones to be worth doing.
Yeah.
But it's not that it's doable. It's something that is not too complicated. Just think some characters and a situation with an obstacle, and there's a resolution.
There you go.
That's one way to go at it. Just keep it simple, keep it human, keep it something people can relate to. You don't need big sets and a lot of other stuff. Focus on the people, the actors, the characters. And
I think that's a great note. It's it's like what, start out with just something simple in terms of what do the characters want or need. The main
Yep.
character is your protagonist. The other character is going to be your antagonist. They're going to be the foil that's going to try to stop them from getting it. And really just, start with that. Obviously, it's going to change a little bit because you're going to be storyboarding it. And as we all know, the boards will then evolve as the story does too. But we got to see that germ, that thing that Owen's talking about, that human aspect of it that we want, because we're not giving you guys a theme or nothing. It's really, really open to your imagination. And that's what I love about this, because at the end of every single class that I do this with, and I've been doing it for 10 years now, they all are different and unique styles and stories. And it's just, it comes out from day one, from nothing to the concept to the completion of something that's, wow, we did this together. And that's what we're excited about you guys having been done too.
Well, yeah, but I wanted to add one more thing. Michael, did I interrupt you?
No, I'm done. Of course, please.
Okay, I will try harder next time to do that. But I think don't let yourself get intimidated when you're coming up with concepts. KISS, keep it simple, stupid. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. And take a look at some shorts that have been done from every land you can think of. And there are a lot of things that are done without dialogue. And one thing that makes things stand out is the element of surprise. So you might have a beginning, middle, and end. You might have one conflict, two characters want something, and something's in their way. But think about your audience. Surprise your audience. Audiences are very savvy. They're very savvy. So show them something that they're not going to expect, maybe.
That's a great point. The twist. Put a twist in it, right? Yeah, that's really nice. I like that idea. And also last night we talked briefly about dialogue. It's optional, guys. Okay? It's optional. Should you decide that you want to have dialogue in your short, that's great, but we don't want it to be dialogue driven. Okay? So in other words, tell the story without the dialogue, and then let's see if you want to add some or pepper some in there a little bit after, versus you writing dialogue and that's what's telling the story. Okay, I'm seeing some stuff that's written here. Let's see, what does it say? There will be. Oh yeah, yes. It's possible to apply next year, and
But it won't necessarily be the same program.
there's a good chance that I'm going to be running again next year. I've
okay.
talked to them, so
Okay.
but I wouldn't count on it.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say is don't
Don't count on it, because this is.
There
I
are
would say this is the first time that this is being actually done through Summer of Arts, this concept. And we all know it's going to be hugely successful. And that's going to determine the outcome, and then also for next year's. But I'm confident that this is going to be groundbreaking. But yeah, if you guys are thinking about doing this year, do it this year. Don't put off another year and say, well, I'll have better stuff next year. No, do it now, because the early bird catches the worm, and this is the worm.
Hey, Professor. Yeah. So there was something that I sent out too. I think these kind of classes can be life changing. I think take a chance on it, and you can apply and then find out what kind of make sure you get in before the scholarship deadline, and see what scholarships you get. A lot of people that they like 80. There's some statistic like 80% get scholarships. That doesn't mean you get everything paid for. You get parts of it, but you can see what kind of scholarship, and it's based on financial need, as well as like just really needing to bring you into the program because you have a kick-ass stuff. So like to try to do that. But I gotta go.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up. Okay. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you so much for your time, Owen and Sherry and Mark. We really appreciate it. And thank you, students. Spread the word, tell your classmates. We will also be posting these throughout the rest of the semester, till the end of the semester, to get everybody who is really interested to apply. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Otherwise, have a great night and a great weekend. Take care, everybody.
Michael,
Thanks.
this is really amazing opportunity for these guys. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you so much, you guys.
Take care.
Thank you.